Vertical Aerospace, third quarter 2025. The numbers are in. Is it good? Is it bad? Well, let's find out. Hey up everyone, welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. I do apologize, I had some technical issues and I started a wrong event by accident. So we are all here. Let me just check if everything is coming through. Yes, thank you for your patience. Thank you for joining me. Third quarter 2025 earnings call, Vertical Aerospace. Well, first of all, I can offer you this nice little sneak peek, a little view of the official aircraft that will be announced by the end of the year. I will talk about this in the very minute. Let's have a look at the chart. What happened? Well, the numbers came out and there was a bit of overreaction, which was expected, mainly the financial situation. As the investors have been digesting the report, the business update, we can see we are now recovering. And I think 420 was the bottom. I think 420 is the key bottom support. And as long as we hold 420, we can see an upside towards the end of the week. Why? Well, I will tell you right now. In the meantime, hit the like button, subscribe if you are into eVTOLs. We are bringing you regular updates pretty much daily on the whole eVTOL market. This week will be massive. We have Vertical Aerospace today. We have Beta Technologies and their first trading day on the market under the ticker symbol BETA, Beta. We also have Joby tomorrow after hours, and we have Archer Aviation after hours on Thursday as well. So big week for the eVTOL market. So Vertical Aerospace provides third quarter update demonstrating momentum on transition flight testing, business plan updates, and best-in-class aircraft. Right, what is going on? Let's go through it one by one. Vertical will imminently enter piloted transition flight test phase. Well, what is the piloted transition test phase? Let me show you this little video. Vertical Aerospace have been developing an aircraft which is publicly called and publicly known as a flying taxi. This is a hybrid between a helicopter and a fixed wing aircraft. And a taxi cab. So think of it, the best of all worlds. It's much quieter than a helicopter. It's much safer as well because we have multiple rotors. If you think of a helicopter with only one rotor, which if that fails, it's a critical failure. Here on this very aircraft, we have 8 propellers. If one of these fails, we still have 7 left that can carry out, either finish the flight or carry out emergency landing maneuver. It's also quiet because it's electric. These aircraft are called eVTOLs. eVTOL stands for Electric Vertical Takeoff and Landing Aircraft. And you can see it on this very footage from Vertical Aerospace. This aircraft can literally take off and land on the dime, then transition into horizontal flight and move as a fixed wing aircraft. So just quick short introduction. What you can see here is the test flight prototype. What you can see here is a little preview of the official, not official, but of the final version, the certification version, as they call it, of their aircraft. It'll be much bigger. It will be fully equipped. There will be the cabin will have passenger seats. We also learned something new about the aircraft as well, and I will get into that very shortly. So, Vertical will imminently enter piloted transition flight test phase. So far, Vertical have achieved remotely controlled vertical phase. Then they achieved tethered, piloted vertical phase, and then untethered. That was phase 3. Phase 2. Phase 3 was horizontal. So the aircraft was moving as a fixed wing aircraft, basically as an electric aeroplane. Do I have footage? Yes, this is the very footage when they flew from airport to airport, and this was the actual first worldwide airport to airport flight of an eVTOL. So how about that? So the phase 4 will be mixture of the vertical and the horizontal phase. And as already we can see, Vertical are commencing or are intending to commence this flight phase imminently. Saying that, looking at the forecast, looking at the situation on the ground, my secret tip would be Thursday or Friday. So end of the week, we should have massive catalyst for the company. We should have a massive update, and this could be a good shifting point in the investor sentiment, at least for a foreseeable future. First look at new certification aircraft's leading cabin size and comfort. As you can already see, we have some preview, and no doubt we will see some slides on the actual earnings call. I've got actually some news about the certification aircraft as well, which I'll be bringing you next week. Board of directors strengthened with appointment of former European Union Aerospace Safety Agency Director General Patrick Kai to the company's board of directors. This person, Patrick Kai, is a very senior person in terms of experience with aerospace regulations and safety. He's got a decade as a former director of the European Union Aerospace Safety Agency. And obviously we have an update. We will be starting the earnings call, the actual conference call, in about 20 minutes. So, transition flight, the defining capability of the VX4. Vertical will begin transition flight testing phase as soon as this week, as we continue to expand the flight test envelope of its VX4 aircraft, with full transition flights expected before the end of the year. There we go. Vertical will share an animation explaining this critical step during our business and strategy update call today. So we will see some footage and explanation of what's going on with the test phase 4. To prepare for transition flight, Vertical's engineering and test teams recently completed extensive simulation, ground and flight testing in collaboration with the UK Civil Aviation Authority. This is an equivalent of the American FAA, satisfying all 200 CAA's minimum safe aircraft requirements. Vertical Aerospace they claim it themselves, they are safety obsessed, and they have a good reason for that, and they are targeting the highest safety standard in the whole eVTOL market. So far, they have been ticking the boxes. Another update, Vertical reveals first images of certification aircraft. Again, I have been talking about this in past weeks, and we already have a date for this, and we have closer info and closer spec of the aircraft. So again, this could be a big catalyst for the stock and for the investor sentiment. Vertical will also share first images of the design of our certification aircraft cabin, which we believe is the largest in the sector, designed for passenger comfort and operator flexibility. The images show key features, including, we'll see the images on the webcast in about 8 minutes. A luxurious 4-seat cabin, a unique 6-seat configuration, and an observer seat next to the pilot in the cockpit. So we are possibly looking at a 7 or 8 seat configuration. That is massive. That is the biggest eVTOL on the market. A generous cargo hold that can for up to 6 cabin bags and 6 check-in bags, with total payload of 550 kg or 1,200 pounds at entry into service. Again, looking at the peers, at the market competitors, Vertical Aerospace are offering market-beating capacity, and a divider between cockpit and passenger cabin for safety and privacy, obviously. So no doubt we will see some more pictures and more slides of this aircraft, of the cabin. Business plan progress and updated operational outlook. At our Capital Markets Day in September, which we covered, we brought you this live exclusively. Nobody else covered it. And I can actually see other channels digging out information which is outdated, and they are bringing this information like if it's something breakthrough. This happened 2 months ago. Congratulations, you are late to the game. So we brought you this, and we could hear the update straight from the directors, straight from the CEO, Stuart Simpson, who will be part of today's conference call. We could hear the updates from Donald Slattery, who is the chairman of Vertical Aerospace, and he'll be part of the conference call as well. Aircraft production and deliveries, at least 175 aircraft targeted by 2030, reaching a run rate of over 225 aircraft annually by fourth quarter of 2030. Margins are targeting 20% gross margin by 2030 and ramping up to 40% margin at scale. That is some good number. Cash flow. Positive net operating cash flow exceeding 100 million by 2030, and Vertical Aerospace are expecting to be cash neutral by 2029. Versus their prior break-even target. So they have revised their guidance and their forecast by $100 million. So they should be doing much better than they actually planned. Upcoming milestones, we've already been through it. Piloted transition flight, the key engineering proof point and critical de-risking step to the VX4 platform. Flight phase targeted for completion in fourth quarter 2025. New aircraft reveal 10th of December in London at the launch event, while Vertical will unveil their new full-size aircraft design. So what you can see here, this very aircraft is just a smaller test prototype. It still can hold a pilot. It is a large aircraft. It's got 45 feet wingspan and it's fairly robust, but this very certification aircraft should be much bigger. I'm getting a super chat from David Hensley. I can't show it on the screen. Can you see it? Can you see it? Thank you, David.
Sorry to interrupt,
I do appreciate it. Sorry to interrupt, but you are doing an awesome job. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, David. I do appreciate it. Let's give you a like and let's continue. So this aircraft should be much bigger compared to the testing prototype. We also have another aircraft in production. Aircraft 3 assembly. Final prototype aircraft to be fully assembled in December 2025. Flying eVTOL and hybrid thereafter. So I have no doubt Vertical Aerospace will have two test flight prototypes, fully eVTOL. They'll be flying them back to back. After they finish their test flight phase, they will convert aircraft 3 and they will not convert, they will just fit it with hybrid power unit. The hybrid power unit is believed to be a diesel turbine hybrid, and it's promising a range of up to 1,000 miles. Promising a range of up to 1,000 miles. This very aircraft, electric, has a range of around 100 miles. So we are tenfold of the current or of the all eVTOL market. Joby S4 around 100 miles, Archer Aviation's Midnight as well around 100 miles. So we are much better, in much better position after this. Clear path to certification and financial outlook with the UK or European certification progress front loaded. Let me just get this clear. The CAA and EASA certification standard is the highest standard. Once they achieve the type certification, this is transferable worldwide. Don't think of it like you can go everywhere and just fly right off the top, but you need to obviously go through probably airworthiness process. You need to tick some boxes, but you don't have to go through a new round of certification. However, Joby, Archer, and others, if they achieve their certification in the United States, more than likely they will have extra expenses and extra time incurrence to achieve the European and United Kingdom certification as well. So just a side note for you, this is giving Vertical Aerospace a great advantage. Yes, their roadmap is targeting certification by 2028. However, Vertical Aerospace are aware of their position. They don't put themselves in the position of a market leader. They know Joby and Archer are pretty much doing the hard work for everyone. And this is putting Vertical in much better financial position. Their cash burn is much lower. They are basically operating on a quarter. Their full year cash burn so far is compared to a quarter cash burn, a year quarter of Joby and Archer. This is how efficient they are, and they beat Archer to a piloted eVTOL flight, the third phase, and they will more than likely, as you could just hear a few minutes ago, more than likely beat Archer to the full piloted transition as well. There we go, for a fraction of their operational expenses. So although we have slightly longer type certification roadmap, Vertical Aerospace are much more cost efficient. Let's have a look what the chart is doing. Currently, Vertical Aerospace, excuse me, the initial overreaction is out of the way. We are now at $4.35. And you know, when I was saying I'm waiting for a good time to buy, this is not a financial advice, this is just my own personal strategy, but I will be buying Vertical today. I'll be buying because the test flight phase, when they do the test flight, that could be a big catalyst. And then 4 weeks later, 10th of December, they'll be unveiling their aircraft, and the aircraft could have very positive reaction. Again, this is not financial advice, it's just my own strategy. We have financial update as well. So yeah, the certification, enabling the company to forecast the further cost to certification at approximately 700 million. This was disclosed. This was disclosed back in September when we brought you the Capital Markets Day. So this is nothing that would be affecting the investor sentiment. The information has been out there and it's already clear, the cost of the certification. UK European certification, as I already mentioned, is the highest safety threshold, and Vertical is achieving it for a fraction of the cost to the rest of the market. Vertical remains, now we have the financial update, Vertical remains on track to meet our 2025 net operating cash outflow guidance of 110 to 125 million. This is, you will see it tomorrow, Joby and Archer. They both, tomorrow and Thursday, Joby and Archer, they both burn this in 1 quarter. Vertical burn this in the whole year. Supported by disciplined cost controls and industry-leading capital efficiency. As of the date of this report, Vertical has approximately £89 million, equivalent of about $117 million of cash and cash equivalents on hand, currently projected to fund the company's operations towards the middle of 2026. Well, again, this is no news. This has been disclosed. This has been mentioned multiple times. Vertical are not trying to hide their financial position. They are very open and honest with their financial situation and with their roadmap as well. So again, this is no reason to see any overreaction. This is no reason to see any freak out in the investor sentiment. Expected net cash outflows from operating activities for the next 12 months to be approximately $235 million, which are expected to be used primarily to fund testing of the prototype aircraft and to further develop their certification aircraft. We have comment from Donald Slattery and Stuart Simpson. I'm not going to read it because we will hear from them on the actual earnings call. I can see more people coming in. Thank you everyone for joining. We are now covering Vertical Aerospace third quarter earnings call. We are bringing a lot of exclusive content. We have great relation with Vertical Aerospace. I'm talking to the people at Vertical. We have met up, we have engaged with them multiple times. I have met up with them in the Royal International Air Tattoo. We brought you a lot of exclusive content. And how about if I offer you nice footage from the Royal International Air Tattoo, from the biggest British air show, whilst I'm getting my webcast up and running. Okay, so the webcast is coming through. I'm hearing music. I can't play the music as a background noise because of copyright reasons, but we are coming through and we will be starting in about 6 minutes. So this is Simon Davies, he is the chief test pilot of Vertical Aerospace, who flew the aircraft from Cotswold Airport to RAF Fairford, about 17 miles, and it was first ever worldwide eVTOL airport-to-airport flight. Not European, not British, worldwide. Joby Aviation managed to hit this milestone about 3 or 4 weeks later. Just saying, just saying. How about that? How about that? So, do we have any Vertical Aerospace investors? Do we have any Vertical Aerospace investors? Let's have a look at the chart. We are steady around $4.31. I think big influence on the stock price will be today's market. If we have a red day, we will retest $4.20 again, and this is the key support. If we hold this support again, few days later, we will see the test flight phase commencement. We will see good catalyst, and it can shift the sentiment up. I'm not saying this will happen, but last time when we brought you this, when I actually brought you this before Vertical Aerospace announced it publicly, we had a 40% rally on the day when the news was announced. So again, I'm not saying go and buy Vertical Aerospace, go and put in your mortgage, but I think it is a good time now, because there will be a lot of catalyst in the pipeline, and the whole eVTOL market sentiment will be shifting up. I can see a big rally happening, probably maybe not from this week, but a few weeks later, I can see a big rally all the way to the first quarter of 2026. So who we've got in the chat? Thank you very much for joining me, everyone. We are about 4 minutes away from starting. By the way, Vertical Aerospace, very high quality presentation. They always deliver good show. Probably not as emotional as Alex Karp yesterday on Palantir. And speaking of Palantir, we had some remarks that this could run higher and higher and higher. So look at this. We are now 5% down, or 7% down from yesterday's high. Yesterday on the earnings call, we had a little pump with Palantir all the way to the all-time high, $222, bang on, and then we consolidated between around $208, and now look at that, the overnight sell-off, and now we are at $190. We told you it's overpriced. Everyone's been saying it now. Martyn had been saying this for a longer time before everyone else, but it is overpriced. Yeah, just a little review from that. So Vertical Aerospace, $4.25. As I said, the key is support $4.20. Let's have a look who we've got in the chat. David Hensley was here first. Thank you very much for joining and doing your moderator's work. Jamie Rees, I can't watch live, but we'll catch up. MDL, let's go. Are you invested? What is your average? What is your average with Vertical Aerospace? Let me know. And we are also running a poll in the chat. I don't know where your chat window is. It's probably below me. Are you invested in Vertical Aerospace? Yes, long term, trading, not invested, and never heard of it. So if you want to cast your votes, can give us better feel for who is watching and what is the investor sentiment. I will close this one shortly, and I'll be asking new questions as well. Move the product, eVTOLs to the moon. Thanks for all the tips on eVTOL stocks. I've bought them all. You mean like all of it, like the whole market? No, I know what you mean. I'm down a lot, but that will turn around. I trust Vaz. Well, eVTOL market and Vertical Aerospace, namely, is there for a long ride, but it won't be long. I don't think it will be long when we see the public will start accepting this concept. We have the Dubai Air Show, which will be the biggest eVTOL show so far. We have some events for next year lined up. We already had Salinas Air Show, the California International Air Show, where we could see Joby and Archer flying side by side. Well, not literally, but flying demo flights in one event. And we also had Joby taking part in Osaka Expo 2025. and there's more and more coming. So the eVTOL concept will be becoming more and more accepted by the public. And the more it's accepted by public, the more people are seeing this as an investment opportunity. So think of this as the early days of electric vehicles. Think of this as the early days of Tesla. Look at this aircraft, Archer Aviation Midnight. How does it strike you? It strikes me as a luxury sports car. It is impressive. When I saw her in person in the Paris Air Show, it is impressive. It blows you away. The design is amazing. We also have Joby aircraft who have been at the front of the race in terms of flight testing and testing, proof of the concept. And we also have Vertical Aerospace. And we've got the webcast starting, so let me get quiet and I will hand this over to Stuart Simpson, the CEO of Vertical Aerospace, and Donald Slattery, the chairman of Vertical Aerospace.
Be a conference operator today. At this time, I would like to welcome everyone to Vertical Aerospace 2025 third quarter earnings call. All lines have been placed on mute to prevent any background noise. After the speaker's remarks, there will be a question and answer session. If you would like to ask a question during this time, simply press star followed by the number 1 on your telephone keypad. If you would like to withdraw your question, press star 1 again. Thank you. Now let's turn the call over to Gillian Levine, IR lead at Vertical Aerospace. You may begin your conference.
Good morning, all. I'm delighted to welcome you to Vertical Aerospace's third quarter business and strategy update call. Before we get started, I would like to remind you that during today's call, we'll be making forward-looking statements. These statements involve risks and uncertainties that may cause actual results to differ materially. Any forward-looking statements we make are based on assumptions as of today. We undertake no obligation to update these statements as a result of new information or future events. We've posted an accompanying slide deck to our investor relations website at investors.verticalaerospace.com, which contain detailed information on forward-looking statements. For a more complete discussion about these risks and uncertainties, we have filed our 2025 third quarter financial statements with the SEC earlier today. Please now let me hand it over to our chairman, Donald Slattery.
Good morning, and thank you all for joining the Vertical Aerospace third quarter business update call. Before we get started, though, I wanted to share with you a never-before-seen image of our new certification aircraft design. And doesn't it look cool? We look forward to formally unveiling the full-scale aircraft on December 10 in London. And please reach out directly to our IR team if you would like to join us on what will be a very special occasion. I'm delighted to lead the call today with our Chief Executive, Stuart Simpson. My name is Donald Slattery, and I am the chair of Vertical Aerospace. I've worked in the global aerospace industry now for nearly 4 decades, and along the way, founded 2 of the top 3 aircraft lessors in the world today, including Avalon. During the call today, I want to share with you why we believe Vertical Aerospace is a leader in the eVTOL sector. We want to update you on our progress and, importantly, outline the top priorities going forward for myself and the management team. On slide 4, you will see we have 6 items to cover today. If Stuart and I do our job, you should walk away from this call with clarity on several key areas, and in particular, around our flight test progress and aircraft design. And we will also spend time on framing the valuation gap that exists between ourselves and our competitors. Turning to slide 5, we've spoken extensively about the 4th and the final stage of our flight test program, the piloted transition flight, and why this maneuver is so critical. So rather than just tell you, we'd like to show you what this entails. So let's take a look at this video.
Transition brings vertical lift and forward flight together. This allows the
I cannot play the audio. The lady is commenting. I will be, because of copyright reasons, I'll be explaining what she's saying. She says at the height of 15 feet, the propellers will drop 90 degrees to the forward direction. At about 80 knots, the rear propellers will stove to provide better aerodynamics. And the lift is being generated by the wing.
This means less power is needed from the propellers and the battery system.
This means less power is needed to the propellers from the battery system.
At around 850 RPM, the design of the propeller renders the aircraft almost silent from the ground.
At around 850 RPM, revs per minute, it renders the aircraft almost silent. And then again, the transition process for the landing, drop down the speed to around 80 knots. And the test is complete and the technology is clear.
What you saw is a demonstration of end-to-end piloted transition. And transition flight is the critical de-risking step for the VX4 development and our certification program. It represents the most material milestone in our history. And importantly, and this is a key point, all under the oversight of the UK CAA, our home regulator. Whilst the video showed this final phase, transition is actually the culmination of a 5-stage test flight campaign, which I'm glad to say will begin later this
Ron
week,
Launderville has
subject
become a
to
member.
receiving final permits to fly from the UK CAA. And we expect these stages to be completed across 11 test flights in total. Once all 5 stages are completed, Vertical will be the first eVTOL OEM of our aircraft's size to have completed this step under UK CAA regulatory oversight. This is an industry first, and it is materially ahead of all of our competitors, bar one. Turning to slide 7, Vertical's approach has always been start slow to finish fast. From day one, we have maintained a transparent, measurable, and clear work scope. We are the only team in the industry with extensive aerospace certification experience. Our senior team has certified over 30 aircraft or propulsion systems, bringing decades of invaluable learning and experience. As you may know, we have flown under a permit to fly oversight by the UK CAA. It's important you understand this because it requires rigorous oversight, ongoing demonstration of compliance, routine inspections, and joint accountability with our regulator. This approach fundamentally differentiates us from peers who currently operate under an experimental airworthiness approval with limited direct oversight by the FAA. This stringent oversight means that we have front-loaded our certification process with over 3,500 hours of CAA export review. One prerequisite for type certification in the UK and Europe is being awarded Design Organization Approval, which we received in 2023. This approval affirms the regulator's confidence in our engineering, our design, and our development processes. And our successful 2025 audit confirms the CAA's continued confidence in our operations. This level of regulatory engagement in turn allows for high confidence in our 2028 certification timeline, and importantly, the expected cost to achieve that certification. Now, turning to slide 8. At our Capital Markets Day last September, we highlighted that once an aircraft reaches certification, there are really only 2 metrics that become paramount: aircraft comfort and reliability, and the profitability of our customers, the operators. We are confident in our certification path, but when looking beyond certification, it is evident that our aircraft offers the most versatile eVTOL in the market. So today, I want to focus on our unique passenger comfort and operator profitability. These are the factors that will ultimately drive multi-decade commercial success. The reality is, all of our competitors are physically constrained by the size of their aircraft, and this provides Vertical with a unique competitive advantage. Turning to slides 9 and 10, I'm truly delighted to share for the very first time the internal renders of our certification aircraft. As you will see on these slides, our cabin space is the biggest and the most spacious in the industry. We have over 70% increased passenger cabin volumes versus our competitors. Our aircraft was designed from day one with passenger and pilot comfort in mind. As you will see, the aircraft is divided into 3 distinct compartments: the passenger cabin, the pilot cockpit, and the luggage hold. And you will see each one has a separate entry and exit, ensuring safety and comfort. We have a cockpit that is 50% larger than our competitors, and our luggage compartment is 200% larger than certain of our competitors. This allows us to check in 70 pounds of baggage as personal baggage for each passenger. This makes our aircraft ideal for airport to central business direct transfers. Simply put, when you step back, no other eVTOL matches this combination of comfort, space, and practicality. Not one. On slide 11, you will also see that the VX4 is unique in its ability to scale from 4 to 6 passengers. This flexibility was designed also from day one, and it sets our aircraft apart in the market, as no other competitor can scale to 6 passengers. This will make the VX4 the preferred aircraft for operators globally. Now, turning to slide 12, what I've just described qualitatively puts it into clear metrics financially. Serving 6 passengers rather than 4 allows our operators to increase revenue by 50% and more than double annual operating profit potential. Scaling to 6 passengers reduces the cost per seat mile by 30% and obviously significantly improves margins, with the potential for gross margins to range between 56% at an assumed 75% load factor. The reality is, these unit economics are transformative for our operators, and they underpin our strong industry-leading order book. The step back here, and the key message is actually pretty simple. Post-certification, what matters is safety, which obviously we deliver to the highest standards, and passenger comfort and operator economics, which the VX4 uniquely provides. I'll now hand over to our CEO, Stuart Simpson, who will provide more detail on our cost of certification and some of the key cost components. Stuart.
Thank you, Donal. 6 years ago, we made a strategic choice to focus on being a pure play OEM and to largely avoid vertical integration. We source our parts from tier 1 aerospace manufacturers globally, each one with decades of certification history. We are the only OEM with proven tier 1 aerospace suppliers on safety critical systems, including flight control computers. This model is efficient, cost effective, and positions Vertical as the best steward of capital. Turning to slide 14, our cost to certification is guided by confidence in the UK CAA process and timeline. The key components are, first, $550 million of people and operating expenses. This is where the benefit of our OEM model really comes through, allowing a lean and cost-effective model. Additionally, being based in the UK, we have significantly lower costs than US-based competitors. Second, $225 million of non-recurring costs, largely fixed through contracts with Tier 1 suppliers, 75% quoted or contracted, and 25% estimated. As a reminder, these are one-time upfront costs to our partner suppliers that cover the initial design and development for key parts of the VX4, along with tooling costs to build our certification and production aircraft. These suppliers are leaders in their respective categories and understand certification, and we get to benefit from leveraging their engineers and IP. Finally, $75 million of CapEx to cover investment in our initial production facilities at Cotswold Airport and an extension of our vertical energy centre where we assemble batteries. As we raised at our Capital Markets Day in September, it is in our DNA to bring clarity to an opaque industry. We are the only OEM in the space with published financial and operating metrics through 2035. This speaks volumes to our business strategy and path to certification. Slide 15 shows that through Q3 2025, our spend was in line with expectations, and we maintain our full year guidance of 110 to 125 million US dollars. This is 75% below our main competitors. Our cash position is at $123.4 million as of the end of the third quarter. As of today, our cash position is $117 million. Our ATM facility, put in place in September 25, contributed $7.2 million in the third quarter and $16.4 million year to date. Over the next 12 months, we anticipate spending $235 million. We'll provide more granular 2026 spend forecasts at our full year earnings call. Moving to slide 16. Vertical clearly executes on its goals. Operational milestones for 2025, including our piloted wing-borne test flights, flying real-world use cases, earning further DOA privileges from the CAA, and initiation of our production steps are completed. For the two items outstanding, first, piloted transition has been discussed earlier today and will be completed within weeks. Second, the build of our third prototype is progressing well and again will be completed in weeks, likely at the beginning of December, and flying shortly thereafter. In 2026, this third aircraft is what will be retrofitted with the hybrid powertrain to begin hybrid flight tests. Moving to slide 17, you will see our high-level certification timeline. The first point to note is that we have already completed the preliminary design review, or PDR, with 75% of our components already locked in for the certification aircraft. The next step is CDR, expected in mid-2026. This will lock in the final 25% of the components for the final aircraft design and the supply chain, allowing us to move towards certification and then mass manufacture. After we complete CDR, nothing on the aircraft will change. We will not be tweaking landing gear or propellers. This is the final aircraft and enables us to begin delivering the 7 certification aircraft that we will test through to 2028 certification. Of course, this CDR is a significant milestone for the company, but also for our suppliers and customers as well. I'll now hand back to Donal.
Thank you so much, Stuart. So let's turn to slide 18. Now, the first thing you will note on this slide is a lot of red X's. And I'm often asked, why does Vertical trade at such a discount to its peers? The gap is simply startling. Vertical's market cap is 3% of company A and 6% of company B. In our opinion, this gap is entirely unwarranted. So let me try and frame this for you from our perspective. On almost every valuation metric that matters, be it technology, capital efficiency, real tangible certification progress, or customers, Vertical outperforms. If you look at the key value drivers down the left-hand side of this page, it's obvious that Vertical has achieved or exceeded on all of these metrics. Yet, our valuation remains detached from reality. However, we believe upcoming milestones, including piloted transition, will act as a significant catalyst to our share price. So turning to slide 19, in our year-end and Q4 update, we will lay out a very clear set of objectives for 2026. However, as a step back, I see two key priorities for me as chair. The first is to conclude a partnership, an investment with a global strategic player, and secondly, working with the team to significantly grow our order book. If you turn to slide 20, here you can see the scale and depth and quality of our customer base. We have one of the industry's largest order books, globally diversified. Importantly, we are the only eVTOL OEM that has a Tier 1 global lessor on its program. This is a unique competitive advantage, giving us access to Avalon's global distribution capability. Our relationship with Bristow, the preeminent helicopter operator globally, is also strategically compelling, as it's the industry's only ready-to-fly partnership, enabled by their global AOCs. Now, our order book has been effectively closed for 2 years, but we will be reopening it selectively, targeting high-value geographies and end markets. And it will not surprise you that a key focus for me and the team will be to secure the first sale of our hybrid aircraft, which begins testing, as Stuart said, in 2026. Now, finally, turning to slide 21. Now that we are within weeks to completing a successful piloted transition, we and the board now believe this is the moment to close an investment with a strategic industrial partner to tangibly support our ramp from certification to commercialization. Our ideal partner is a global player in aerospace, automotive, or the defense sectors. Unquestionably, there is significant strategic investor interest in the sector. And Beta's successful IPO this morning is a clear demonstration of this. And let me, on behalf of the team, congratulate Kyle Clark and his team on their success. We at Vertical are in active dialogue led by me with several potential partners globally, and I am confident that we will conclude a transaction shortly. If we are successful, this partnership will be transformational both for the business and our share price. Finally, turning to slide 22, we hope that this call has given you clarity on our progress towards piloted transition, the industry-leading aspects of our aircraft, and why we believe Vertical Aerospace is the absolute best steward of your valuable capital. With that, I'm going to hand back to the operator, and we will open the call to questions. Thank you.
This is the most important part, and we might get our question on the call as well, so stand by.
Press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. Please limit your questions to 1 and 1 follow-up. Your first question comes from the line of Austin Moeller from Canaccord Genuity. Please go ahead.
Hi, good morning. So my first question, where are we at on aircraft 3 production and the development of the hybrid powertrain for early 26 flight testing?
Hi, morning, Austin. Thank you for the question. Aircraft 3 production is exactly in line with plan, and as I said earlier, will be completed in the first couple of weeks of December. So we're really pleased we are exactly on plan with that. In terms of the hybrid, again, we're exactly in line with our plan for that. Everything is coming together for the aircraft to be flying in the middle of next year. So really pleased with everything that the team has been doing, and we're on track on both of those.
Yeah, and Austin, let me add to that as well. And I think this is important for people to understand. A lot of our competitors are talking about hybrid, but the reality is none of them have an airframe currently that works for a hybrid. Vertical is the only OEM that has an airframe that can take a gas combustion engine immediately without any amendments or adjustments to the airframe. That's the most important. So we are a major first mover in this flight test campaign, which will start, as Stuart said, middle of next year.
Okay, and then just you'd talked about the hybrid powertrain aircraft and potentially getting an order there soon or announcing an order there soon. If we think about the defense market, when might the UK MOD or NATO MODs be interested in procuring aircraft for a troop transport? It seems like there's a lot of opportunity there to sell this to European allies, given the 5% spending commitment and the low acoustics and thermals of the aircraft.
Yeah, so I think you're spot on, Austin. So, the step back here is that the defense budgets in Europe are going to be at 8 decade highs. Okay, we, as you can well imagine, are in direct dialogue with every major government in Europe about this aircraft, and the interest in the airplane is exceptional. Given some of the touch points we have from our board colleagues, particularly Lord Andrew, former head of MI5, you can well imagine that we've got great access, particularly in the UK MOD. So we'll be working super hard going into 2026 to secure the first order. And I'm confident that we'll achieve that.
Excellent. Thank you for all the details. I'll hand it back there.
Thanks, Austin.
Thanks, Austin.
Our next question comes from the line of Andres Shepard from Cantor. Please go ahead.
Hey, everyone. Good morning. Congratulations on the quarter, and thanks for taking our questions. Was wondering if you could maybe talk a little bit about your manufacturing strategy. Will you be pursuing kind of a large OEM agreement partnership there to kind of help as you begin to ramp up the kind of the high scale manufacturing process, or kind of what's the strategy there? Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good question, Andrew, right? And one we've thought about extensively over the years. So you can apply different approaches to this. You can do this sort of, let's build the big, huge factories. Let's spend a lot of money doing that, and hopefully we can fill them at some point in the future. Or you can take a more prudent, more risk-adjusted approach, which is what we've done. Okay, so you should expect to see our manufacturing cadence as follows. Phase 1 in the UK, as we've outlined, and Stuart can give some color on that. Phase 2 is the turbocharge phase. And as I mentioned in my remarks, one of the key criteria for selecting an industrial partner with us is their ability to turbocharge our production capacity for this aircraft. What does that mean? What that means in practical terms is by the middle of the next decade, we will have 3 manufacturing facilities, one in the United States, covering North and South America, which will be a major market, one in Europe, and one in Asia. And I suspect by the middle of next year, we'll be coming back to the markets with probably quite significantly ramped up production forecasts for this aircraft, given the demand that I am seeing globally. I mean, I spend my time talking to airline CEOs globally who are waiting to order our aircraft, but they want the aircraft earlier. And right now, we are production constrained under our current forecasts. So clearly, the objective is to build more airplanes faster and more efficiently. Stuart, do you want to touch on the immediate plans? Because I think it's important.
Yeah, of course. Morning, Andreas. Thanks for the question. As I mentioned at the Capital Market Day and just touched on here, $75 million we'll be spending gets our initial capacity up and running that takes us through 2030. That is expanding our footprint at the Cotswolds Airport, where we'll be assembling the aircraft, and expanding our facility at the Vertical Energy Centre, where we'll be assembling batteries. Hand in hand with that, we're in deep discussions with the UK government about where we locate the major UK facilities, the battery giga factory and a production facility for the aircraft of several hundred aircraft a year. Then exactly as Donal says, we will be ramping that across a US facility and into Asia.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at.
We'll make a decision on the European location during the first quarter of next year. And whilst, Stuart has touched on it being in the UK, it's highly likely to be in the UK, but I wouldn't say we've made that decision yet. What we're seeing is pretty significant inbound from other European countries who are keen for us to base there, unquestionably, high quality jobs, and a lot of them. But from the market's perspective, that decision will be made during Q1 next year.
Wonderful. Thank you. Appreciate all that color. And maybe just as a quick follow-up, I think a lot of your peers are pursuing the Middle East as a viable market. Some of them even potentially targeting commercialization there over the next 6 months. It doesn't seem like Vertical is emphasizing or prioritizing this region. So curious to get your thoughts there. Is this another potential geography to pursue? Is this an opportunity perhaps in the more nearer term, or is the goal to kind of stay focused on Europe and the UK and ramp up from there? Thank you.
Okay, well, let me help break this down into its components, because it is a really important point. First of all, GCC, or the Middle East as broadly defined, is an extremely important marketplace. And for those of you that follow us closely, you will see that we had a very significant day in Saudi Arabia a couple of weeks ago, and Stuart Simpson was there with the UK government as part of the FII. So unquestionably, the Middle East is really important. But here's where it's not important. In what I would call strategic tourism around certification searches. We do not believe there is any real validity in an eVTOL OEM seeking out some fanciful early stage certification in the Middle East. It's not real, it's not tangible, and it's not portable globally. That's the reality, and that is based on my 4 decades of experience in this industry. Now, you will have noted this morning that suddenly the authorities in the Middle East, or there's at least news reports saying, oh, sorry, we don't expect to give quote unquote certification until late 26. And you just referenced there that our competitors are talking about commercial operations as soon as the end of this year. It isn't happening. It is fanciful, and it is not certification.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I'll pass it on.
Very interesting
Thanks,
update. I put a poll in the chat. So can you just vote? Is this a buy, hold, sell, or undecided? Listening to the call, just cast your votes.
Hey, thank you for taking our question, and congrats on all this progress. So first question about, we saw the press release about funding boost from UK Department of Transport under this UK AAM corridor initiative. So could you clarify what portion of the award is directly attributable to Vertical, and any technical milestones to met before you can access that fund?
Hi, thank you, Laura. So I think what you're alluding to is the British government's desire to promote both Oxford and Cambridge universities, which are two of the world's leading academic and research institutes, which both are producing incredible output of new businesses. And the opportunity to link those two through a corridor of innovation and development is a fantastic initiative, of which we're very, very proud to be part of. Our aircraft will be able to fly between those two, providing an utterly unique capability. Now, in terms of accessing funding, it's gone into one big bucket, and we'll be making our pitch to make sure we can do the demonstrations of that capability over the coming 12 months. But it's a phenomenal step for the UK to be able to leverage those two institutions and grow them aggressively over the coming years, and we will be part of enabling that. So hopefully that gives you a bit of colour commentary, Laura.
Okay, gotcha. And also for the 700 million capital needs towards certification, so should we assume more spending on top of that for the hybrid train? Or like, would that be a material amount, or like most costs for the hybrid ones already behind?
Well, let's break that into two components, Laura, right? And Stuart will answer the components of the 700. As I touched on, and I think it's really important for the market to understand this, there is a massive future and a massive opportunity on the hybrid side. There's also a massive cost for our competitors to build a hybrid. We don't have to incur that material cost because our aircraft is capable of taking that gas turbine without any major changes to the airframe. So we'll be first to the market with our flight testing in the middle of next year, as Stuart touched on. And as a consequence of that, we'll be the first to the market to sell a hybrid. With respect to the incremental costs within the 700, Stuart, you might want to touch on that.
So, Laura, the 700 includes everything we need to get the hybrid program up, running and flying over the next 12 months, on the back of which, as Donal has said, we are highly likely to get a sale. Now, that sale will then be able to fund the balance of the program. Now, interestingly, as Donal said, our airframe fits this hybrid powertrain. So the costs to actually take it from concept through to certification are relatively low. So that's the way to think about it. We've got everything we need for the next 12 to 15 months.
And, you know, maybe to add to that, a step back, we think about total cost of certification. By the time our aircraft is certified in the second half of 2028, our estimate is that we will have invested $1.1 billion to achieve that milestone. Our best guess is that our US competitors will have spent a minimum of $2.5 billion by that time, and they still won't have achieved the certification of a hybrid aircraft. So there's a stark reality there on investor capital allocation and getting a return on that invested capital over time. And I think the market should focus in on the efficiency of how we deal with our capital.
Thank you, Laura.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you for the color.
Our next question comes from the line of Chris Pierce from Needham. Please go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon. I just have one question. You've talked about front-loaded certification given the regulations needed to get in the air and then building your certification plans by the mid-2026. I think they have that right. So can you just kind of sketch through, like, what will we hear from you guys, or what happens over those next 2 years until certification in 2028? Is that just consistent flying and feedback, or is there a chance for that to be pulled forward? I'm just kind of thinking out loud about where you guys are at, and then your comments on front loaded. I'd just love to hear you expand on that.
Yeah, so there's no pulling forward, right? There's no fanciful timelines on certification. It will take what it will take. And we're highly confident in getting that achieved, as we've said, at the second half of 2028. In our year-end earnings call, we will present to the market a forensic breakdown by quarter, starting in quarter 1, 2026, through to conclusion in second half 28. Exactly what you should expect us to be doing each quarter as we go along the certification journey. The front-loading piece is really important for people to understand. And why it's important is as follows. In the UK and in Europe, the process is front-loaded in terms of the amount of interaction, the amount of oversight we have in the process with the regulator when the aircraft is still at early stage prototype development. So we get a lot of input, a lot of guidance, a lot of de-risking from a safety regulatory perspective. And if you look at the slide on 7, which was originally presented at our Capital Markets Day by Patrick Kai, the former head of EASA, who sits on our board, what it tries to represent to you is a lot of the risk is taken out earlier in the program, unlike the United States, which is actually diametrically opposite. I mean, we are the only aircraft manufacturer that has a means of compliance. What that means in simple terms is we know exactly what we have to do and when we have to do it to get the aircraft certified. So key messages are, we will get there on time. There'll be no pull forward. This will take until the second half of 2028 to get it done. No fanciful ambitions or throwaway spin comments that we can get there earlier.
Okay, so just to clarify, there'll be a schedule that because of what EASA has in place or CAA, investors will be able to see what you need to do, when you will do it, what boxes will be checked, et cetera, on the path to the second half of 2028. Okay.
Yeah, to a reasonable level of detail so that we can measure ourselves against performance and that you can measure us. Stuart.
Yeah, and just giving you the high points on that, Chris, we do CDR the middle of next year that locks in 100% of the aircraft design and the supply chain. Right? The engineers effectively put their pencil down at that point. That is our final aircraft, no change. And importantly, we've already locked down 75% of the final aircraft. We already know the design of it. We're showing that on the 10th of December. The CDR just locks in the supply chain. The design is there. The next aircraft we build, and we've already initiated production by ordering the very long lead time items, is a certification aircraft. It'll be completed in Q1 27 and flying. After that, we build 6 others and they constantly fly, hand in hand with oversight from the regulator. So that is the process. And as Donald says, there's no fancy pull forward. This is a clear, transparent process, and we will be certifying in 2028.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
Our next question comes from the line of Savi Syth. Raymond James, please go ahead.
Hey, good morning. Could you talk a little bit, kind of given your differentiation of the bigger cabin, could you talk a little bit about the choices you made versus kind of your competitors that enable that bigger cabin?
Well, the first, Savi, good morning. The first, and I think the most important, before we ever designed anything, and that's taking us back really 5 years ago, we spent a great deal of time, and I was intimately involved in this exercise, speaking with our customers or potential customers globally. What was the best product market fit? And there were a few key learnings and some obvious learnings. One was that the range wasn't going to be super important for at least the initial phase of business use, i.e. from central business district, airport to central business district globally. And if you look at the 50 mega cities of the world where these aircraft will be flying, the average range from airport into town is about 50 kilometers, plus or minus. So range wasn't going to be a differentiator. Size of cabin was the absolute most important thing. And as a consequence of that, also the ability to check in luggage. And so that gave us a real engineering challenge 5 years ago. How do you design an aircraft of that size with the energy density you need for the batteries at a price point to the operator that can make sense? So that was the conundrum we were dealing with 5 years ago. We have definitely resolved it. So it was a customer-led design engineering process. And if you talk to the Airbuses and the Boeings of the world, they will tell you that is the right and best way to design an aircraft. And the reality is today, that airplane physically exists. If you come to London on the 10th of December, you will be able to sit in that cabin. It is comfortable. it's scalable, and if you compare and contrast our cabin to some of our competitors, it is demonstrably bigger.
Helpful, thank you. And then just on the battery side, I don't know if you can kind of speak to this. I'd be kind of curious. I know you're several generations ahead of what is being flown in Aircraft 2 and Aircraft 3. I wonder if you can kind of talk about, how much more development there is prior to kind of CDR and what the kind of the improved capability might be versus kind of what you're flying today.
Yeah, thanks, Savi. Thanks for the questions. You're absolutely right. The batteries that we have on Aircraft 2 that is flying, we are a couple of generations ahead as we look to the certification aircraft. And if I take you back to what I've said previously about our PDR, we have locked in the battery capability in that. We actually have a choice of a couple of cell suppliers because we have such a deep understanding. We've done over 5 million hours of testing on our batteries. So we have a great insight onto that. I don't think there's much more I can add on that at the minute, but we have great confidence, line of sight through the PDR, through the supply chain to a battery, a cell, and a battery pack that we build around that cell that is certifiable and gives us the payload and the range that we will be putting into the market and meets way over 90% of the customer launch routes. It's a phenomenal engineering achievement, as Donal said. It delivers exactly what our customers need in terms of cabin capacity and luggage capacity.
Helpful, thank you.
Thanks, Savi.
Our final question comes from the line of Amit Dayal, H.C. Wainwright. Please go ahead, sir.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, got you.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking my questions. Also, great to see the new design, guys. Definitely a big differentiator for you. Donald, you commented on concluding a strategic partnership potentially in the very near term. I mean, can we assume this includes, some level of investment, and can that investment carry you through 2027 or end of 2026 at least?
I can't comment on the specifics on it, but I think it would be reasonable to assume that any conclusion of a transaction with the strategic will carry with it an investment quantum that would reassure the market. Let me put it that way.
Okay, understood. Also, just sticking on that topic, as defense needs come up in the European market, the UK market, etc., is there a path for non-dilutive funding, to develop us? Any clarity on that would probably, be helpful for investors.
Yeah, Amit, thank you. You're absolutely on point. There is opportunities for non-dilutive funding for the development of hybrid aircraft. That's exactly how the defence market works as you get into negotiations with the government. So, yes, there are plenty of opportunities for that. And as Donal said, we're having a lot of incoming and a lot of very good discussions across the European defence industry.
Okay. And then on the defense side again, have any specifics emerged in terms of, the aircraft capabilities, etc., that, those types of customers may be looking for?
I think if you take a step back and look at the aircraft, it provides several things that the defense industry is extremely excited about. So first of all, you have silent takeoff and landing, which, as you can imagine, is extremely important. It also has a very low noise signature, so you can't hear the aircraft when it's coming in to land or taking off. And then once it's at altitude, you can fire up the gas turbine to travel up to 1,000 kilometers. That combination of low noise signature, low thermal signature, and near silence is transformative in the military. So this is what underpins the incoming that we're getting. And really, the use cases are endless, from logistics through to troop deployment, etc. So yes, we feel we have got the strongest product in the sector. We will be flying it next year, and we will be selling it next year.
Thank you. A lot of good color today. Appreciate taking my questions. That's all I have. Guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Amit.
I will now turn the call back over to the chairman of Vertical Aerospace, Donald Slattery, for closing remarks.
Okay, thank you, operator. And thanks, everybody, for joining us this morning and the thoughtful questions. If I were to ask you to take one slide away as you think about our remarks today, take section 5, slide 18. It's the only slide that matters. Have a think about that. Think about the relative performance of this business relative to our competitors. Now, I want to re-extend an invitation to come to London, Canary Wharf, to see our physical aircraft. And I'm an aerospace geek. I've been in the business 4 decades. I have seen this physical aircraft that we will be unveiling. It is simply the coolest thing imaginable. So if you want to see the future of flight and you want to see the Vertical VX4, it will blow your mind. So get your tickets, get onto the IR team, and come to London on the 10th of December. We will also be bringing that aircraft to the United States immediately in Q1 2026. So thank you all. We look forward to our next call in 3 months' time. Have a great day.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes today's call. Thank you all for joining. You may now disconnect.
Wow, that was very interesting. What do you think? Let me know in the chat. Again, very, very open book, no hiding. They laid down the timeline. They explained the fundamentals. Quite few jabs at the market competitors as well, at the market leading competitors. Yeah. What to say? I think, as Donald said, this slide 5, unwarranted valuation gap. Look at this, company A, company B. I think we can all gather, based on the market cap and based on the achievements, the bottom 2 lines, we can gather up the comparison between which companies they are. Obviously, Archer and Joby, the 2 market leading companies, and you can see what Vertical have achieved. Yes, you can say this is biased, this is twisted. It could be twisted, but look at it. It only makes sense from Vertical's perspective. And if you look at a long-term frame, and you heard about the certification in other markets rather than the CAA certification, it also makes sense because it's more financial efficient. Under every certification, there is a cost and there is a time frame. This is ruled out because Vertical are not targeting any other markets. They are targeting the highest certification standard and the highest safety standard as well. And once they have this out of the way, once they tick all the boxes, they can fly everywhere. They don't have to go through another round of certification in the United States, whilst the American competitors will achieve their FAA type certification and then again have to go through another round for the European certification. So again, something that makes a lot of sense now when we break it down. The biggest hurdle is the financial situation, but we know that Vertical are targeting this actively. I'll be following this through probably through the next week. There are some financial warrants. There are some warrants to be exercised. There are some tranches to be triggered. There's more to it. There could be more more financial support from the investors. And as you heard, the chairman himself has been talking to main partners, or he's been trying to find a main business partner as well. And since he said it won't be long, I mean, Vertical Aerospace is becoming very attractive now. They have the hybrid power unit. They'll be unveiling their new aircraft. I'll have some exclusive news for you next week as well. So they'll be unveiling their aircraft. Thank you for subscription. They'll be unveiling their aircraft, which is market leading in many metrics and probably the best on the market. As you heard, the airframe is ready to be fitted with the hybrid power unit. Joby, Archer, Whisk, and others will have to do some tweaks to the airframe. And this airframe of the VX4 is already there and is ready to take the heavy power unit. So it makes sense. It makes sense. But Vertical Aerospace is there for a long ride. If you don't have the patience, if you don't want to have your money locked in the stock, whilst the price targets, we will see some revision this week, no doubt. But the price targets with Vertical Aerospace are, I think somebody gives price target of $2, then we have $8, and then we have between $13 and $15 price targets for Vertical Aerospace. That's 12-month price target. So if you are there for a long ride, if you have the patience, if you don't need immediate gains that can be very volatile, Vertical Aerospace makes sense. If we look at Joby, they are probably closest to becoming profitable. Not profitable, generating revenue. They are closest to generate revenue. If you look at Archer, there is a lot of hype, a lot of PR. Again, there could be some good news. I'm expecting the rally towards the end of the year and first quarter 2026. But with Vertical, it's there for a long ride. And you heard there's a lot of catalyst in the pipeline in the coming months. And what is amazing, that they actually committed on the next call, that should be in January, they will give us exact quarter per quarter roadmap towards the certification. No other company would do it. Joby haven't done it. Archer haven't done it. Archer will probably never do this. Joby, we might see some update and some good indication on their certification progress. But again, that is the FAA certification. They also are now targeting the GCAA certification in United Arab Emirates, and then they will have to go again through the CAA and European EASA certification. I happened to speak with one of the senior members of the CAA, Civil Aviation Authority, and the infrastructure is there. It's not like the FAA who have to design and sort of plug in the rules for eVTOLs. European and British aerospace agencies, aerospace regulatory bodies, they already have the framework for eVTOLs, and they'll be ticking the boxes from already existing rules. So again, Vertical Aerospace have massive advantage on the market, which can very quickly sort of equalize with the market leaders. Yes, Joby have much bigger market cap, as you can see. Archer have much bigger market cap. They will probably become generating revenue sooner, much sooner than Vertical, but they are targeting only two markets. Vertical is not targeting any market now. They are preparing for a global certification. So again, something to look at. We still seem to be holding that levels of $4.20, the support. Somebody was asking me in the chat. Let's have a look quickly through the chat, and then we'll open the markets together. And we actually have a new kid on the block. Beta Technologies. Let me give you this quick breakdown. I will see if we can cover it. If we can cover it live, we can cover it live. Let me just mute this. Beta Technologies. Beta Technologies have been through their IPO. And they have raised $1.01 billion yesterday. The initial IPO. The shares are expected. Oh, look. They are live. New York Stock Exchange. Well, let's have a look at this. Let's cover this live, because that is a big event for the eVTOL sector. Let me unmute this. Let me put this on the screen for you. Right. Bear with me. I cannot play the audio because they are playing music. But we will be covering Beta Technologies Beta Technologies, first day on the stock market. Let's have a look because we are building up to it. We have 40 seconds to go. So let's have a look at the eVTOL companies. Vertical Aerospace still holding $4.26. Joby Aviation 15.65 before the market open. We had a good retraction yesterday. Archer just under $10, good price, but I think Archer could go even lower. We have 2 days until the earnings call. Archer can go lower. That could be priced disappointment on the earnings call. Look, there we go. Beta Technologies, first trading day, they'll be opening the bell, so I don't have to play it. That's great. And there we go. Big day for Beta Technologies and big day for the eVTOL market as well. Because Beta Technologies have been developing their own eVTOL and they also have been developing a fixed wing electric aircraft. So how about that? The CEO, by the way, I don't remember his name now, is a pilot as well. And he has piloted their testing prototype, their prototype aircraft. So there we go. The market is open and Archer is pushing up. Let's have a look. Archer is pushing up. Joby going up. Vertical Aerospace slightly up on the market open.
Let's give Beta a moment there. Absolutely incredible. Beta Technologies here to celebrate.
That's great. Horizon Aircraft is down. We seem to be retesting $2 mark and then $1.50. EHang slightly down, but that is again sensitive to the Chinese-American relations. The S&P is slightly up on the market open. Let's have a look at this.
And a lot of people here excited today. Let's take a look at the broader markets as well. Joining me now in studio to talk this market open and the Beta Technologies audible enthusiasm is Steve McClurg, CEO at Canary Capital. Steve, great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hard not to be in a good mood today, right? We got all these cheers behind us for Beta Technologies.
I know, they're very excited. I'm excited.
I'm excited too, that's right. A solid deal, to say the least, for Beta Technologies as we await that opening trade. Does this tell you anything about the overall market?
Yeah, look, I think the overall market is pretty constructive. There are a lot of cracks, though, that we are worried about. Some of those cracks include auto financings. There's a lot of defaults there. There's defaults in student loans. There are defaults in credit cards. And these are the worst they've been since the financial crisis. But we also have a lot of positives in the market as well. So it seems to be a bit of a tale of two markets right now.
Yeah, the government does remain shut down. We do see some of these companies that had planned for an IPO before the
value for Beta Technologies is not out yet, but they opened at $34. Their first day of the IPO was open at $34. The data has not come through yet. Let's have a look at the overall market. S&P is down. Thank you for new subscriber. The S&P is down 1%. From yesterday, Nasdaq 1.4% almost. Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum down again. Gold is down as well. It broke through the $4,000 mark. Silver going down as well. It looks like we will have a red day. Let's have a look what Vertical Aerospace has been doing. $4.26. I think that will sit at the $4.20 between $4.20 and $4.40 for the rest of the day, unless we have a massive crash. And then I think we are now waiting. We are all waiting now for the piloted test flight. Seeing the situation on the ground, watching the situation on the ground, that should be end of the week. I will try to cover this in person, but I cannot promise. I've got other commitments and I'm not too flexible to cover this, but no doubt we will see some updates on this. I'll be live first compared to any other competing channel, so I'll be live on it first, definitely. and later we'll be bringing you more exclusive content on Vertical. Look at Joby. The first push-up has now cooled off, and we are already accepting, same with Archer, we are already accepting that it might be a red day today. Horizon aircraft coming close to the $2 mark. That will have to hold, otherwise we are looking at the $1.50 again before the big rally, before the big push. EHang is down as well. The S&P, I need to refresh this because of trading view, it's playing up. Look at the long red candle. So the S&P is crashing as well. Palantir from yesterday, we covered the earnings call, massive beat, massive guidance, but we got sell-off. We got massive sell-off. Well, not massive yet, but we had a big sell-off, and this could continue on the red day. $222 yesterday, the all-time high, and now look at that. We are $24 down. $24 down. Okay. Beta Technologies, do we have the numbers? No, the numbers are not coming through yet. So let's get back to Vertical. Let's get back to Bloomberg. Sorry, New York Stock Exchange.
But we're also looking at opportunities in energy. One of the things, AI is a big theme and everybody likes the chips, but energy is actually going to be the most in-demand commodity as these AI data centers continue to come online.
Steve McClurg, he's CEO at Canary Capital, joining me now here in studio. Steve, thanks.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. All right, everyone. Well, still to come, Signal AI recently announced a 9.
You can see in the background, Parazero is down. I'm getting notifications for my stock as well, or stocks I covered. You could see behind the lady, there was footage of Beta Technologies, and I will offer you the footage now. Let me pause this. Let's get back to the markets. Let's pause this, and I will offer you footage and explain what Beta Technologies do. So let's come here, and do we have, let me give you, do we have the one from New York? And then I'll be with you for another 5-10 minutes. If you have any questions, fire them away in the chat, and then I will hand you over to Sensei. Let's have a look at the Beta Technologies New York. It was the very first electric aircraft that landed in JFK. This is the video. This is what I wanted to show you. Well, let's have a look at this. This is what Beta Technologies do. Beta Technologies have been developing a fully electric CTOL aircraft as well as VTOL aircraft. So this aircraft has got 70% of same platform, and then you just change configuration on the wings to either fixed wing aircraft or a VTOL. Fully electric powered, developing hybrid power unit as well. Quite big range. The CTOL, the CTOL, this version has got quite big range. They already have been flying passengers as a few demo flights, and they already have landed at JFK in New York. It was a big event, big milestone for the advanced air mobility. Beta Technologies, one of the companies you can invest in now on the market. Let's have a look if we have the price coming through. Do we have the price yet? I think there'll be massive volume and massive amount of data. There'll be a lag. It's the same as every IPO. Can see when Martin or Sensei are covering IPOs, it always takes a couple of hours before we get the prices in. So this will be slightly delayed. Let's have a look at the chat. Do we have any questions? Do we have any comments? I also ask you on the call, Vertical Aerospace, listening to the earnings call, is this a buy, hold, or sell? Well, I'm closing the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. To me, obviously I am biased. You can say I am biased, but Vertical Aerospace is my own niche, is my own stock, and I know the company very well. I know the company more than most of other channels covering them. And you know, we are bringing you exclusive content. We are bringing you a lot of updates on Vertical Aerospace as well, and we are usually there in the first row, in the first line. So Vertical Aerospace, to me, it's a buy. I already told you I got my orders in pre-market, and I'm waiting now for the further development, and I'll be buying more. I will not go crazy, I will not go all in, but I will be buying, and I will probably want to trade. I want to do a little trade, a little profit on the piloted test flight towards the end of the week. That is my insight. But again, to me, it's a buy. You spoke and you said buy 43%, hold 31%, undecided 20%, and sell 6%. We have a good specimen there. We had enough people voting to give us a bit of a sentiment. That's great. Aranayara, I can't pronounce it, sorry, says hold, buy is 43%. Zach, yes member. Oh, November. Right, let's have a look. Do we have any questions? We also had a poll. You quite liked the configuration of the aircraft. And again, speaking of the aircraft, I will have big news for you next week. You will love this. Again, exclusive content coming from Vertical Aerospace themselves. I will be there in the first line of fire on the news when the news happens, but I can't tell you anything yet. I'll be talking about it next week. So do you like the new aircraft? Love it, 65%, undecided, 20%, 11% find it meh, mediocre, and 4% didn't like it. Thank you for your votes. That's great. It's interesting to see and hear from you as well. Vanda Nagupta, has earnings already been announced? Yes. The earnings per share, I pinpointed it at one point. Let me just bring this up. Earnings per share was on this slide. There we go. Diluted loss per share, so earnings per share negative $0.24. And basic earnings per share negative 25 cents compared to the previous year, same period, we had 1.48 negative. So I think the financial situation is slightly better, but again, it's conditioned by the further funding. Current price $4.35. Going through the chat, and then I'll hand you over to Sensei in a few minutes. So you have still few questions you can cast in. I will answer. Which one is best buy, Joby or Archer or Vertical? Well, you just heard it. You just heard it a few minutes ago. You also could see this slide. Market capitalization spent to date from 2021 up to second quarter 2025. Look at the amount of money the competitors have spent and look at the achievements. Yes, this could be slightly tailored to the needs of Vertical Aerospace, but you heard the chairman, you heard Donald Slattery, he explained everything. He explained the fundamentals. Before earning, I think Archer, me personally, I think Archer will be a sell-off. There'll be a negative reaction because they will either not mention or mention delays in the United Arab certification, and Vertical Aerospace is going up. Vertical Aerospace is going up. Thank you for a new subscriber. Let's have a look how many subscribers we've got as well. 100. Let me zoom in. 106,000. Oh, it's going up. That's going up very, very well. It is because of Sensei. I'll hand you over to Sensei. We've got new crypto audience coming in. I'll hand you over to Sensei very shortly, but look at the number of subscribers going up. This is great. So let's quickly check the stock markets in general. S&P slightly recovering, Nasdaq recovering, Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum down, gold keep coming down, as well as silver. Vertical Aerospace, $4.40. We have a slight push up. Joby is recovering from the initial sell-off, $15.84. Archer just above $10, $10.10. Me personally, I think Archer will sell off. Archer will have negative reaction and we will touch the $9 mark. Joby, I wouldn't be surprised if we have for the first time very good positive reaction. That is conditioned by two things. I brought you the Joby pre-earnings special and analysis. I said they'll be conditioned by two things. One, certification progress. So if we see good guidance on the certification progress, that could be a good catalyst for the positive reaction. And if we see financial situation, if we don't have any surprise, if we don't have any unexpected cash burn or cash outflow, that could be a good catalyst as well. And my price target for the high of first quarter 2026, for the high of next 4-5 months, is $28 for Joby, and I still stick to that. I'm not saying it will go just after the earnings tomorrow. It will go to $28. I'm not saying either that it will stay at the $28, but I think we will hit the high of $28 for Joby, $18 for Archer, and $9 for Vertical Aerospace. Just based on the catalyst, on the fundamentals, on the milestones, on the achievements along the way in next 4-6 months for the whole eVTOL market, I can see a massive rally in brewing. Again, it might not trigger this week, it might trigger in a couple of weeks, but there's so many milestones, so many achievements along the way. So Archer going up, $10.50 now. Horizon Aircraft, that keeps going down. That will by tomorrow, I think that will be around $2 mark and I'll be testing this support. If it holds, great, but unless we hear some news from Horizon Aircraft, any updates or anything, that will just keep going down. So we will be probably between the $2 and $2.50 for a while. Unless we break through, then the next support will be $1.50. EHang slightly recovering. The S&P now steady, coming close to 6,800. Palantir from yesterday, slight recovery, but nothing great. If you consider we hit all-time high $222 last night, and look where the price is now. And Beta Technologies, we are still not getting any numbers through. That will be a little delay. So let me just finish the chat with you if you have any questions. So Araya Nayara, I can't pronounce her name, sorry. Araya Nayara, I can't, sorry. Is that Hispanic name, or is it? Tell me, where are you from? If you have to choose one or two max, well, again, I would my first choice is Vertical Aerospace. To diversify, I would probably go with Joby and wait for Archer for further updates and the reaction on the earnings call. Market is crashing and is best time to buy. Yes, I agree. When this ends, yeah, we've been through it. Ninja Cowboy, yeah, I saw your remark. I love it. Batteries. I've got a very specific way to pronounce the word batteries. So hope you enjoyed it from the mouth of the CEO as well. Jerry and Elba is here. Thank you for joining. Can we all send love to Elba? She's been going through dialysis. She's been in and out to hospital. Let's send some love to Elba and Jerry as well. Our honorable moderators, our probably most loved members as well. So let's send some love to Jerry and Elba. Please subscribe and hit the like button so we can bring this to others. Yes, thank you, Elba. Move the product, very good. Sophia SJK says defense. Yes, defense. There's a lot that cannot be disclosed at this point for strategic, for security reasons. There will be a lot of NDA, non-disclosure agreements. Once this starts coming out, That will be a massive catalyst. Once we see cooperation in the defense sector with one of the defense partners with Vertical Aerospace, that will be a massive catalyst for the stock. So again, just saying. And Vertical Aerospace is going up as we speak. Vertical Aerospace is going up as we speak. Look at that, $4.64. Are we making money? Are we making money? Let me check my portfolio. I certainly am making money. I have... Very nice. I love that green candle. It's so long. It's not because I'm showing 5-minute candles, but mine on my trading 212 platform, I've got like 15-minute candle or whatever that is, and it's so long. I love it. I love it. So we might see a good run up, and again, when the aircraft is flying, probably end of the week, there'll be more and further catalyst for the stock. So again, this is good news. Joby slightly pushing up. Archer $10.15 holding. Horizon Aircraft $2.16. EHang $17.40. Do we have any numbers on beta yet? No, we don't. Okay, let's get back to the chat and wrap it up, and I will hand you over to Sensei. Sensei is starting. Yes, God bless you, human being Liz. Good morning to Jerry and Elba, says Zach. We listen to Vaz now, human being Liz. Thank you everyone for being here. It was great. I always love to cover Vertical Aerospace's earnings. Great presentation, very professional. Very good experience as well, and you could hear it today yourselves. Move the product. What price are your orders at, Vaz? I think I bought $4.30 or $4.26 or something this morning. But again, it makes no difference. If you are there for a long term, if you are not trading the stock, it makes no difference whether you buy it for $4.20 or $5 for the long term ride. If you look at the price targets at the end of the year, the average is around $13. If we look further up the road, Vertical Aerospace can be easily 10x by the end of the decade. Could be easily 10, maybe 15x. Again, I'm not making any predictions for this long term. I think it's silly. There's so much to factor in. And I don't want to be giving you any false hopes, but something to look at. And this is actually coming from one of the big investors who's got about 4.5 million invested in Vertical Aerospace. On the Capital Markets Day, Professor Scott Galloway, he said that he can see Vertical Aerospace doing 20x in the next 10 years. How about that? So it makes no difference whether you buy Vertical for $4.20 or $4.60. It doesn't really matter. Ninja Cowboy, I wonder where in the United States. I think that'll be New York or Los Angeles. But who knows? Maybe I'll be on the event with you. That was really nice with emotions. Yes, I agree, Zach. I'm very slow this morning. Araya says, which one is best buy, Joby or Archer? Yeah, I've just told you. Hopefully I could help you with my answer. Move the product. Oh, yeah, I agree. Which can beat and go up in this earning? Well, you can see Vertical Aerospace has not beaten yet it's going up, and it will go higher. On the news, end of the week, it will go higher. Elba has to go, so hopefully we have send love to Elba. I didn't scroll down yet. Thank you, Elba, for joining. I love to see you here. Jim Newsong is here. Thank you for joining. Zach, Vaz, I want to send you the Archer t-shirt. Do you have one? I would love it. Zach. I would love it. Rhino skin, I wish it was $2. Well, we could buy Vertical for $2.70 few months ago. Not few months, but not so long ago. But I hope it stays. I hope it holds that $4.20, and then we have some more upside. Araya says, thanks for the info. You are more than welcome. Hopefully you have subscribed, because I am bringing you eVTOL content pretty much daily now. I'm part of the network now, part-time. I'm part-time sort of employed and working for the team. So I am dedicating more and more time to you. I'm slowly transitioning to full time, but it's a long run. So if you like eVTOL content, definitely subscribe, drop the like, and if you also if you want to follow me, if you want to be up to scratch with everything, I've got 11. Look what Vertical Aerospace earnings has done, because everyone knows Vertical Aerospace is my own very niche product. I don't want to say it's my own product, but covering Vertical Aerospace is my expertise. And look at that, 11 messages on the earnings call. Wow. Okay, I'll go through it. But if you want to stay in the loop, the handle is at EVTOL I'll pop it in the chat for you as well. If you want to stay up to date with the news, I'm doing analysis. I'm giving my own insights. I've got a lot of media as well. Yeah, just it makes sense for you. So thank you for joining. It was great. Move the Product says, I got Vertical at 423. Thanks for the news and the passion for it, says Human Being Liz. Well, thank you for being here. Zach was ringing the bell with us. Cheers for that. Well, yeah, welcome everyone. Thank you for being here with me. Good morning, Lucas 8. I love days like this. Red days are when I go to work. Good luck all. Yes, I agree, Martin. Thanks for great job, says Rhino Skin. Thank you for joining me and being with me. Rhino Skin, $4.41. Yes, we caught it. We could see it. Let's have a look what is Vertical Aerospace doing now. Slight retraction, but yeah, I think we'll be buying more. I think we'll be buying more tonight. Can say Aria. Okay, thank you. Can you show us your portfolio? I'm not going to show you my portfolio because my portfolio currently makes no sense, because I had been building my portfolio. I was about 80% up, mainly on trading eVTOL stocks. But I had to start liquidating. I had to invest in my equipment. I bought myself cameras. I bought myself a lot of lighting. Bought myself audio equipment, and I've got my little mobile studio. I brought this mobile studio to multiple events already, and I'll be bringing you more and more content from the ground, as we call it. So next year there'll be more and more events I'll be attending with my mobile studio, and I had to invest. So I'm not disappointed. It hurt me a bit, but I'm not disappointed because I invested in myself. Whilst I invested in myself, I can bring you better perspectives for the whole eVTOL market, and I can also be a better investor myself, and I can start making more efficient trades and investments. So my portfolio currently is only a fraction of what it was, but if you join me on Saturday, I will show you companies that are involved in the whole eVTOL market. Join me on Saturday. It will be, I don't know where you are from. Are you from Europe or are you from America? It's literally an hour before what it would have been the opening bell time. So I think it's Eastern 7:30, and European UK time it's 13:30. European depends on where you are from. But if you join me, I'll be talking about companies which you can invest in the eVTOL market as well. Zach, congratulations. The number of subscribers beat the Bitcoin price. I love it. That's great. eVTOL, go. Thank you for your supplementary information. Boom. Yes, that's the link for my X account. Does the mobile studio run on batteries? I've got loads of batteries. I've got 20 for my both cameras. I've got about 10 lights. I've got. Bear with me. I'll show you my rig. This is the main gun, Sony ZV-E10 fully digital camera, 4K. It's got a cage, full rig, lighting. There goes audio. audio system on top of it, and there's much more to it. But just so you can see what I invested with and what I'm running around the air shows and events for you and bringing you exclusive content. So yeah, that's it. And I've got another camera that is now doing my live streams, and I am planning on buying camera number 3 after Christmas, so I can give you better perspective as well. And I'm also avoiding the issue I had from the Paris Air Show when I was reliant on cheap memory cards, which failed, both of them. One of them didn't record the videos properly, and the other one just burned itself somehow. So if you want to do serious content, you need to invest serious money. And I'm now buying Sony cards, one of which costs like £150, and it is worth it. If you go to an event, which happens every 2 years, and you lose 10 hours of your footage, it hurts. It hurts. Yeah. So yeah, I invested in that. Thank you very much for your appreciation. Jamie Rees says, I'm anticipating you driving around in a camper van, parking outside the airfield in the Cotswolds. I would have. Let me put it this way. I would have if I wasn't committed to my daytime job. Yeah, I was actually going to Cotswolds on Sunday. I didn't go in the end. But I was so anticipated. I was on the eVTOL watch for you. I've been on the eVTOL watch for you for like 3-4 weeks. I've been anticipated the flight for 3-4 weeks. I'm looking at the weather situation. I've got few people on the ground who I'm talking to as well, who sort of cover certain angles. But yeah, I couldn't. I don't think I'll be able to bring you the flight live or in person, but I will bring you one of the flights going forward. Don't worry, you're not going to miss it. So thank you very much for joining me. What I'm going to do now, I will show you. Let's have a look at the numbers for the last time. Vertical Aerospace now consolidating around $4.55. Joby Aviation, slight retraction, $15.78. That's all waiting for tomorrow. Tomorrow after hours, Joby Aviation earnings call. We brought you, we had like 2,000 people last time. Archer Aviation, on the other hand, was the biggest live eVTOL event on the whole internet. Not only on YouTube, on the whole internet. The biggest live eVTOL event. We had 5,700 or 5,800 people. You can see it on Martyn Lucas Investor on the channel. And I think we will beat it. I think we will beat it by a margin. What I'm going to do now, I'll go to, let's quickly go through the other stocks. Horizon Aircraft retracted slightly, bounced off from the previous sell-off. EHang is recovering slightly. Beta Technologies, do we have the numbers in for Beta yet? No, we don't. Well, what I'm going to do now, I will show you, go Martyn Lucas Investor channel. We have a new, well, it's not a new thing, it's now bread and butter. We literally are like TV network. We literally are like BBC 1, 2, and Sport. We can run parallel events. And if Martyn wasn't on his excuse me, if Martyn wasn't on his holidays, I have no doubt he would have been live with the third stream as well. So we have 2 parallel events now. Obviously, it's XRP, probably the biggest event of the year for XRP. Look at it. Sensei has got 793 people watching, and I will shortly add him another 55 people who stayed with me, 57 now, who stayed with me. But I just wanted to show you, this is the live event. If you go to Martyn Lucas Investor, the homepage of the channel, you can see me and you can see Sensei. We don't have the preview for whatever reason, but I will show you. Sensei is showing the conference. I don't think he's watching, but Sensei, if you are watching. Right, I will wrap it up. If you stay where you are, it will take you there automatically. There'll be the end screen and you just click on Sensei's event and that will take you there. And Oh, I thought Sensei would see me, but he didn't. Look at what do we have on the chat? Is it XRP? Is it XRP? Yes, that is XRP. Do we have any XRP investors? Well, you might not want to miss this. That's it from me. Thank you very much for joining. Great audience, great event. Tomorrow I might go live later with Archer earnings preview after Sensei. I might do it tomorrow, but tomorrow Joby Aviation after hours. That will be probably the biggest live. That will be probably the second biggest live eVTOL event. So let's see, and I will meet you there. That's it from me. I've lost myself halfway through my sentence. I will hand you over to Sensei. It's time for me to go. Take care of yourselves and each other.